Hey guys, it's Jason with Stealthy SK, and today I'm going to be bringing you one of probably the best ways to level in Path of Exile. This is going to be Kinetic Fuselage with Lightning Warp as your movement skill. There's a few interactions I'll be going over with, but besides that, super simple. I will have a tree for the witch, which someone made for me. I think it was Jungron who started out the trend of the endgame version of this, but this will be the leveling version of it, which was put together by me and a friend of mine. So we'll go ahead and get to the gearing part, and then we'll go from there. The first thing I recommend you do is you organize your gear. This is going to make it much faster for when you go to stop and make changes. You'll be able to see everything you need to put on. For now, I have everything in order so I can put my level 1 stuff on and move on from there. It already has gems and everything. I'm actually going to put them on the side for the ones that I can't use just yet. And so this is going to be, well, it's going to be mixed match between what you want to do. So obviously, you're not going to have all this gear at the beginning of a league, which this is made for not only this league, but if nothing gets nerfed, next league as well. And there's a few programs that make this easier. One's called Exile UI, and that'll show you every time you need to stop for a gem, where the gems are, for whatever class you're playing. All this will be in the PoB, so you can just follow that rather than the video, and I will have timestamps to each time I make a change to the build. Not only with that, I will show you the gameplay of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff organized in my inventory, and then we'll go from there. As I got all my gear put on, we're going to be using a Drift Wand, a Skin of the Lords with Foulborn. This is a new item this league. If they do end up keeping this in core, it gives you 30% quality of socketed gems. You're going to be blasting through mobs. And once you get to certain levels, you'll also be able to socket more gems like greater volley support. Well, I guess just volley support. And so on and so on. At level 12, I will be coming back here to swap some stuff. But for now, this is what we have going on. Since we can't use Kinetic Fuselage, we're going to start with Kinetic Bolt, just because it's the best item we're going to have until then. And then once we get to that point, we will be swapping it, as long as we'll be also swapping to Lightning Warp. So the second you cast what do you call it, Kinetic Fuselage, you will also be casting Lightning Warp, and so you'll be moving and shooting and one-shotting all the mobs. And with this gear, you can already tell I'm running super fast. We're going to be blowing through mobs. And then at level 25 is when your big upgrades come through, and you'll see why. Just to show you what even level 1 looks like, you can go up to any mobs, and you can level up super quick because you just do intense damage due to the 30% Skin of the Lords. A lot of people use Tabula, and if that's easier for you to get, I'd recommend doing that. But even a 20% quality for Skin of the Lords, you're also doing insane damage. But again, some things would be very hard to get at the beginning of the league, and you won't want to get them. So you can throw together whatever you can. Spell damage is going to be good, attack speed is going to be very good, and less duration is going to be very good. Now with this build, you have to have a mixture of all three of those in order to be able to do the max amount of damage. So make sure you're not, if your build goes from feeling good to bad and you change one of those 3 items, I would recommend going back and taking them off. But yeah, next upgrades I will go ahead and record again and show you where we're at. Oh, one more thing before I move on. I will have the tree for Witch, but this will be useful for any build. You just want to look for spell damage, like I said, cast speed. You will need some intelligence. For certain skills, you will need strength and dex, and you can look at all that in a PoB. And if you need help, I can help you whip up a tree pretty quickly for any class. So for this one, we're going to be starting by going around to this notable. Then we're going to be dropping down to here and then up through here. And that's where we're going to go. So we're going to start right here, go up, and then around. So what I quick wanted to show you is this is the website you're going to be using with Exile leveling if you do plan on using it. It's going to tell you after, let me go to route real quick. It's going to tell you after every time you need, like say you need a skill at level 4. After you kill the enemy at the gate, it's going to tell you to pick up the kinetic bolt on a little overlay down here. And it is going to make your life way easier, especially if you're newer to the game. This is totally within the terms of service. There's no nothing affecting the files, so you will be fine with this. The way to do this is to go to whatever PoB you're using. At the moment, I have this PoB put together. This is obviously at the level 68 point. I'm just gonna have it at the max point. You go to, oops, let me go back to the PoB. You're gonna go to import. You're gonna generate. And then you're gonna copy. Once you've done that, you go back to here. You go to build, import, paste. It'll say import success. And once you open it in game, here, let me get it pulled up 1 second. Unfortunately, I had the recording wrong, but I'll just go over it again. All you do is press F2. You go to Act Tracker. It'll be at the top. Enable Act Tracker. Click Import. I already did it. But what you do, it will say success here. Once that's done, press F2 again, press the little book, and you just follow the steps. It'll automatically go to the next step every time you finish it. And if it doesn't move all the way, you can just manually click it yourself. But this is exactly where I am. It's all caught up, and I'm going to get back to leveling. I did just change my volume settings on my mic. Hopefully it's not too loud. I noticed the other mic was being a little bit staticky. I will be having a music track in the background, so hopefully it covers it up. If not, I mean, it is what it is. Just a quick show you what Exile UI does. If I go through this passage, it should automatically tell me what to do next. But since we're level probably 5 now, I can go ahead and put on my shield. Which will also give me Frostblink, so I'll be able to move even faster. My necklace at level 5. I created my volley support for my kinetic bolts. And then once I hit, I think level 12 is my next break point. I'll go again. Let me show you how the gameplay looks now. I still one-shot. I should one-shot even blue mobs, but we'll check it out. Let me try to find some. Where are all the blue mobs? I also now can get a Quicksilver since I'm level 4, which will make it even faster. I am not having luck finding these, but you can tell pretty easily that this build absolutely shreds. It's fun to play too. I'm gonna just zip through these mobs real quick until I get to a special mob, maybe a unique. Here we go. No, it's not the unique one. Okay, there we go. Boom mobs still getting one shot. And once I'm level 12, I will get back to you. If you ever fall behind levels, these new breach mechanics are insane for this because you can one-shot all the mobs and kill them very quickly and get massive amounts of EXP. Now that I'm back at the town, because that's what it wanted me to do, it wants me to TP because it had a step before that said to do that, but I usually just skip past that part. I'm going to grab portal schools. I'm putting on my gloves now, and from there I should be good. I'm level 9, 3 more levels, and then again I'll come back. It'll also tell me to come back for some quests and stuff. In the guild slash, I think I am still solid. These rings are going to be your bread and butter. What they do is they reduce skill effect duration. Make sure you don't buy the one that says increase skill deck effect, because that is what will break your build. So make sure you're not me and you don't buy increased skill effect duration. My friend saved me from this one, so thanks to him, I'm able to use these correctly, so my lightning warp actually works. Anyways, I'll see you in a few minutes. Oh, also remember to grab a flask while you're here. We're gonna grab a quick level 4 movement speed. I guess we can just throw this in here. Really don't need it. I'm gonna swap out these. You shouldn't need any mana flask or health flask later on. I technically don't need it now, but I figured I'd pick it up. Besides that, I think we are all set. Again, having this all organized makes this much easier, so I definitely recommend you do that. Unfortunately, I just recorded a part killing the submerged boss just to show you that I can even one-shot that. It didn't record the right thing, so I've now put a replay buffer on, so if I do miss things like that, it will automatically record. I'm actually going to test it right now. One more thing is, I was showing you how to quick get through quest lines. This is going to tell you what you're trying to get from Tarkley. It sent you back to town. This means 3 quests. Since it had all the gems already, all you do is control click them fast, and they will go straight into your inventory, so you don't have to drag them. I used the book, and I explained that even if I didn't put any skill points in any of these, I would still be one-shotting. It wouldn't make a difference. It's that strong of a build. Anyways, back to leveling. Now that I hit level 10, I'm going to go ahead and put clarity on. And it's not going to make much of a difference now, but it will make a difference later. In terms of where you put it on, I believe it's the boots, but I might switch that later. If you level through the campaign, you absolutely know who this boss is. Has to be one of the most annoying bosses at the beginning, just because how much health it has. And I haven't tried it with this build, but I believe it's going to get absolutely ripped through. So I'm going ahead to record that. We'll just run through real quick. Let's see how much HP he has. I'll place a portal down just in case, but I don't think we'll need it. Oh yeah, he's just absolutely melted. Don't even have to care about him. And that was Brutus. One more level and I'll go ahead and stick on the rest of the gear. Okay, so it's been quite a while since I've gotten here. The game started taking a dump, going up to about 20k ms, and then crashing everyone. It wasn't my internet, and I decided to watch some videos. But here I am at level 14, about to make some swaps, and I wanted you guys to know what to swap to. First things first is going to be the Poet's Pen. I'm going to swap that into a main slot with Life Tap and Lightning Warp. You can put Momentum on if you would like. These gloves go back in. We're gonna grab another Quicksilver Flask. This one's gonna have charges on full, just so I don't have to click it every time, and I have an extra one. Life Spirit is also gonna go back. These are gonna be our new gloves. We're swapping to Kinetic Fusillade, what do you call it? Ballista Totems, as well as we are going to take these gems, all 4 of these, because we're going to be able to wear them soon. But you got Kinetic Fuselage, which you can wear now on top of your gear, and then you'll swap these in as you level. We can put on a new shield, and then we're going to put Frostblink up here. This is just in case you get stuck and you want to get through a door and Lightning Warp isn't letting you do it. You're also going to put on a Greater Life Flask and a Greater Mana Flask. Put these away as well. I'll come back to organize this after I'm done leveling. We're going to put these to the side as well. These are our level 25 rings. And jewels. You can go ahead and take off Kinetic Bolt. We won't be using that anymore. The only reason we're using Ballista Totems is because it's really good for one-shotting bosses. We will be swapping to Mark on Air plus Assassin's Mark and Spell Slinger and Tornado, which will do just as much damage, if not more, when we get to that level. You can go and put the shield back. Let's see what else. Yep, I'm gonna go and put Kinetic Bolts down over here. We're gonna be taking these new jewels, which give us more flat damage and attack speed. So once you get there, you can replace these, as well as taking our level 16 boots, and these are going to be our heralds. Plus, I have a level 21 enlighten support for it, which will make it easier to help your mana. Anything else we need? We're gonna go ahead and take just all of these 3 because they don't take much space in the inventory anyways. We're gonna take the Astramentus. That just lets us be able to level our gems more. And you can't wear the wrapped timepiece until you hit level 50, so it's quite a ways away. And from there, you just start blasting through. So in terms of anger and hatred, this is gonna be depending on if you're missing any damage or Trinity to proc. Because you'll have enough lightning damage, but you might not have enough cold or fire. You'll have to balance that out yourself. Alright, anyways, we'll show this build off. So normally I would swap to Life Tap plus Lightning Warp. And what Poet's Pen does is when I use any skill, it's gonna trigger the Poet's Pen, and that'll get me around. But it's kind of clunky until you get any sort of lower duration, it looks like. So for now, I'm just gonna level it in different slots, and I'll let you know when is a good time to swap to it. I do get some attack speed under the tree here soon, and then less duration is like the main thing. Is at level 25 you for sure can swap, but I was hoping you would be able to swap at level 20, but we will see how that goes. What I'm gonna do is fucking work for this. I'm going to put Lightning Warp on helmet, as well as Life Tap on the gloves, and then I'm going to be using Kinetic Bolt while leveling Kinetic Fuselage, which will make it much better once I get to the point where I'm actually able to use it. Unfortunately, momentum won't help me at all with that. It'll mainly be these rings. But you still one shot, so it's not a big deal. You still zoom into the campaign. Let me try to give you a quick demonstration. See if I could find some enemies. See, you're still one-shotting. I'm gonna try at level 20 with my Astramentus, and see if that helps at all. And if it does, go ahead and swap over and you'll see what I mean about speed leveling. So usually when I hit Murvil's Lair, it takes quite a bit to kill the boss. Let's see how it does with our setup. Dies pretty instant. Gonna go into the sec phase. And it's done. So, still a super strong build even without the Lightning Corp tech just yet. This is a great place to get some EXP, especially if you're one-shotting. You just run past them. As you do that, you get your EXP and try to get... We're trying to get level 25 pretty much as fast as possible. It's just going to speed everything up. We're also going to be doing labs because we're going to be swapping to golems once we get to that point. Again, these breaches level you really quickly, especially like I said if you're one-shotting. So I'll make sure you're doing them if you want to level quicker. Besides that, I'll keep on leveling and let you know. Now I'm level 20, I'm going to swap to my other setup, which is going to be this one. Leveling that. Frostblink. Lightning. Now that I'm level 20, I swapped straight back to Kinetic Fuselage, Sacred Wisp, Trinity, Elemental Damage to Supports, Volley, and when I hit 31, Restoration. And that's going to make it feel much better. But at 25, like I said, you should be fine. I'm also going to switch these eyes, the better attack speed ones, out. And then we also swap to Herald of Ash, Enlighten Support, and Herald of Ice. So you have both of those on, which will make it feel a lot nicer. I don't believe we still can use Lightning Warp. Can try. A little bit better, but it gets less clunky in this, so we'll go ahead and wait till 25 for that. So I'll see you guys at level 25. Also organize this a little bit while I'm at it. Now I think about it, I'll go and actually show you guys the damage you still have even at this nerf version. It's still gonna one-shot everything. Pretty much you gain charges, and the charges eventually go out. The less duration you have, the better. You want to balance duration plus attack speed and make sure it's not overcapped on one of them, otherwise it will slow down your projectiles. The max you'll get while leveling is probably going to be 12 projectiles, which is absolutely fine. You don't need any more than that. Just keep your gems leveled up, and then from there you just move on to the next setup. Okay, so I just hit 25 and now I can put on my time lapse. I can switch over my Lightning Warp. Clarity on over here. I would turn off your auras for now, because you're gonna have a little bit of a struggle. Everything except for clarity. With mana because of how much lightning warp takes. But ideally, there we go. Now you're able to zip around the entire map while shooting out your fuselage. And what this does is it's a one button build now. Since Poet Pen is casting your attack, all you do is zip to where you need to go, and then you're good. You're all set. I'm gonna upgrade my mana flask, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna start zooming. When we go for our golem swap, mana issues will no longer be a problem. We will have a golem that just increases our mana by a ton, so it won't even matter. We could put on our orders and stuff. But for now, this is how we'll run it. Now that I'm 31, I'm gonna switch to my other setup, which is gonna be Anger, Inspiration, and Lightning Warp. I'm gonna trade this off. It still should. It feels just as good. From there, we're gonna add less duration to my kinetic fuselage. Oh, I corrupted one. Sorry. And now I'm shotgunning a lot more. I'm able to shoot a lot faster. As well as these level 30 gems. We're gonna take these out. Put these in. Where's the other one? Anything else I need to put in right now? Not right this second. I don't think. Let me go organize real quick. At level 34, I'll be able to use my next pair of gloves. I guess it's level 38. Oh wait, no, helmet. My helmet, which will give me my lightning golem, my flame golem, my ice golem, and my stone golem, which will fix my mana issues, allowing me to one lightning warp and shotgun the rest of the axe. And that should be all I need to get me through. Now that we're level past 31, we're going to do a few things. I'm going to swap over to my other Poet's Pen. Obviously, you're not going to have two. You would just change the colors and use Anger, Inspiration, and Lightning Warp, as long as you're bringing less duration support as well. If it's on a Skin of the Lords, make sure it's corrupted. You won't be able to use these otherwise. Besides that, for now, you're going to put in the two new level 30 Searching Eye Jewels. You might not have one for each 10 levels, but I do. So I'll go ahead and swap that. And the way we're going to mitigate mana problems for this build is we're going to go up to... Oh, it's not going to show on here. What we're going to do, the first Aspirant's Trial, which will allow us to use golems. Plus the extra golem on the tree, which is right here. And then we're going to have the 4 golems, which will give us all the extra stuff we need. And that should also allow us to put our heralds on, which will fix Trinity and make us even stronger. So we're going to go ahead and get Aspirant's Trial done. And then from there, we're going to get to level 34, so we can put on our helmet with all our golems on. And then that's mostly the things we're going to need to change before. At level 38, we can put our gloves on with our Spell Slinger Tornado, and that'll replace our Yardray's gloves. We use these just for the Ballista Totem support, but we won't need that, so we'll be swapping over from that. Okay, once I hit level 34 and go for the next swap, I will come back and we'll see how the build is. I guess I'll show you a little bit of a demonstration going through the Aspirant's Trial. Obviously, you're gonna get through it very, very quickly, since you can just zoop all around. I'll also show you how much damage we're gonna be doing to this boss. We still have our Ballista Totem set up, so I'm gonna go and set that down, go behind them, and then absolutely, once this little shield icon is on, that means you finished a phase. And sometimes he just does extra attacks after it. But yeah, we might not be able to do the second trial, but we definitely can do the first. I didn't even realize, but our resonance is now fixed, or Trinity, since I went into fire and cold damage. Gives us 8% of each, plus we have a lot of lightning damage already. So that actually fixes our problem. So we don't technically need our heralds, but we're still going to put them on because they're absolutely big, especially stuff like Herald of Fire. So we're going to summon into our Elementalist build so we can get our extra 2 numbers of summons, or golems rather, which will bring us to 4. And we'll have to level 1 more time, and then we'll be all set for our build. I'm just gonna gamble on a random gems. Evil should work. Oh, that's actually funny. I got a golems one. Don't think this is any use to me, but I can see. Anyways, I apologize. Earlier I said put anger up here. You don't put anger, you put restoration. That's my fault. I completely forgot what I was doing. I had just woken up not too long ago after taking a long nap. We'll be sliding this in somewhere else. Now you can really get a picture of how extremely fast this build is if I don't run into walls. Map going down. Okay, when I get on more not doors everywhere map, I'll show you. Remember, once you hit put clarity. Once you hit the, what do you call it, 34, go ahead and swap to your golem setup. Well, all I'm gonna do is pick up each golem, summon them once, and then never worry about them again. Should have one more golem. There it is. And already our mana regeneration is looking much better. And then we'll get instant leech on the tree as well soon, and that'll completely fix our mana. I just moved Herald of Ash and Ice off to my shield, and then I'm going to be putting on Clarity and Anger on my boots. I just got to recolor them. I figure this will be a very good map to show you guys how powerful the build is, killing this stupid boss that I've died to so many times in the past. So let's go to General Grievous. I'm still one-shotting all the mobs. Put down my things, and then he's gone. And now the build feels better smoothed. This will pretty much be it until the end of the acts, and you should be getting through them very, very quickly. It wants us to enter the line of symbols, so that's what we do. It'll automatically go and tell you which way to go. Anyways, I'll show you guys a little bit later down the line when the build is more finished. So I don't forget, once you hit 38, go and swap into the new gloves, the Deordres. You're going to have Spell Slinger and Tornado connected, and then you're going to have Assassin's Mark and Marker and Hit. And this will change, and you'll change these gloves straight out. You'll no longer be using the turrets, you won't need them, you'll be killing bosses in one shot anyway. And that's the build. I will try to get my friend that helped me build this. I will try to get him to either submit some footage so you guys can see what it's like with the little higher end budget a little bit further in the game, or I'll have him let me borrow his items. At level 50, there's also going to be let me show you real quick. Level 50, you're going to swap into this trinket, which is really good because it has reduced skill effect duration, which is what you mainly want. But again, it's level 50, so it'll be a little bit before we get there. It actually won't. It'll be probably half an hour with how fast this build goes. But when I have that equipped, I'll also show the build because I'll be further on a tree. I'll have more damage, more attack speed. I was looking for some leech nodes. There's none easy to get to from here. I don't want to waste points, and I'm not really starving for mana anymore. So I think I'm just gonna keep it the way I have it. Anyways, good luck, guys. Done a few levels, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you this boss fight and how fast it is. I'm no longer using any totems, so you just wait for the phases to go, and they pretty much instant die. And that is that fight. Obviously, there's another phase down there, but it takes forever to then go through this cutscene, and you get the idea. Here's what I'm currently wearing. I swapped into the new gloves, which we got new reduced cast speed, increased spell damage, which you counteract by using this, which will give you 1 attack speed. And you go all the way until you hit Elder Power. I'm now at Kitava. I'll go on to show you how it feels to kill him with this build. He's already phased. Fall down, come back up as the red baddie. Oh no, it's so scary. Done. He just gets instant phase on literally everything. You don't have to know the mechanics. I think there's one more heart phase, then he lasers us and onto X6. If I remember correct. Oh, already done. Alright. Well, that was Kitava. On to the next X. I wanted to show you guys how the build feels even in Act 8. I'm just going to run through this real quick. Still one-shotting. As you can tell, my mana is almost 0. I'm having no problems. No mana pots. Everything just dies in one shot. The way I fixed that was a few nodes in a tree. I will be putting that in the notes. And I also will be putting a few other things in the notes. I think you should probably swap a little bit later on and not so early on to kinetic fusillade. It feels it's just a little bit clunky at the beginning. They'll probably just stick to kinetic bolt. And there's a few other things, but if you want to keep up to date on all of it, just make sure you look at the PoB. Oh, I didn't even mention one my manual solo. I'm running Finger, Verity, Hell Device, and Herald Flyer, and it's absolutely destroying the mobs. You could change these up if you would like, but these feel really good, especially the Explode with Herald, plus the chaining with Kinetic Fusillade. It just makes the build super nice, and you can just zoom around every corner. For the people that don't know, I recommend you leveling your character in Act 9 before you finish the acts, because once you finish them, every death counts as minus 10% EXP, and it doesn't before. So I recommend getting 65 to 72. It's up to you. Or if you have gems to level them up before. Obviously, you don't lose anything for dying with gems, but I use Blood Aqueducts, but there's other maps that are really good. I would check some other ones out as well. And that's all I gotta say. I'm about to be finished with the axe, but don't leave just yet. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff, some of the swaps I did. I actually am changing some of them to make it a little bit easier because the mana problems I was having, the build was fine, it was one-shotting, but it wasn't, it was eating up too much mana, so I was potting like every second, which isn't the funnest. And when I was using PoB regular, it was a smooth leveling experience. So I'm going to be moving that up probably to 31 or 34. I'm going to go into PoB, everything will be updated there. I'll put some notes in and put the new swaps in. And then from there you guys can level up. And I'll tell you what you should be looking for if you're playing any other class. I'm going to quick into Katawa, show the kill, and then end off this video. I'm definitely going to have a few deaths here. I don't have any points put in. That's just because... Oh, maybe I won't. I'm actually killing it quite fast. That's because I'm going to be swapping builds anyways. So the points will be just wasted. And actually I have gold, so it really doesn't matter. I can kill him just as fast. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Tell how fast his HP just gets drained. Should be the heart now. Oops, that was bad. The closer you are to a character, the more you can just shotgun, so you don't have to go actually up to them. You can just stay back. I just prefer going up to them. This spots is probably not the best idea. And we're almost done. Alright, and that's the axe. I'll be going over a few things, and then we'll call the video there. This is how my tree ended. Unfortunately, I needed stats because I got rid of my Astramantis. So it might be worth keeping this depending on what side of the tree you go for. What you're looking for on different classes is spell damage. You're looking for cast speed. And then stuff like down here is going to be your skill effect duration. So if you start to lower the tree, you can just rush here and get this. My windows of opportunity is coming from the ambulance I had. It's a really good one. It's super cheap. So yeah, so the first starting off 1 to 12 is going to be the same. Now on 12 to 25 is where it's going to change. Rather than put lightning warp into Poet's Pen, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put any heralds on because there are mana problems. Unless you could figure out how to make that work. On your 6th link where you had kinetic fusillade, you're actually gonna keep kinetic bolt, because you just, like I said, it's clunky at the beginning. Golems won't be till level 35. And you're gonna have clarity and haste if you can fit that. And then from 25 to 50, your last swap. You can try using kinetic fusillade with the 6th link. Less duration is big, which I believe is at level 31, which is why I'm saying keep kinetic bolt until you get kinetic fusillade at level 31. You should be leveling this skill at during the process. So like if it's in you can just put it in any random spot and level it up. Same thing for lightning warp. Then at level 34 you can put your golems on, and then you'll end up being able to put your spell slinger tornado stuff to that setup, and then your assassin's marker and hit for bossing, which you're gonna replace your kinetic fuselage ballista totem setup. Besides that, you don't need the gear I have. Poet Spin's gonna be a little bit hard to get at the PoE League. Maybe by 3rd day people will be selling this, or 2nd day, but definitely not 1st day. Just get something with a lot of spell damage and cast speed. These rings are mandatory, so you'll need to find some way to get them. Make sure you get reduced skill duration, and not increased skill duration. The Skin of Lords isn't mandatory. You could be using a Tabula if you want, or whatever 504 link you can figure out to put in here. The rest of the equipment is all up to you. Obviously 7 league step boots is going to be extremely expensive at the beginning, so I don't recommend getting that. Getting a couple Quicksilvers is definitely a good idea. It just speeds up the process, obviously. Besides that, I think if you have problems with the tree, go and comment down below and I'll try to help. I'm going to be changing the PoB to match the new swaps. And that's it. You guys have a good one. Thanks. I just looked at the last clips and I realized there was a ton of static. I apologize for that. Hopefully you guys can still understand me over all of it. I don't think there was anything missed out, but I'll relook at it. If I think something is unlegible, I will go and fix it. Oh, one more thing before I go. You really need Leech's mana. You could find it a few places on the tree, but make sure you get it. The second you get it, the build will feel way better. Because I went from spamming Flask to not using them at all. So definitely make sure you get that.